Hey, Alex, want to come to my birthday party?
Oh yeah, let me grab my bow and arrow, my pistol, my knife, my garden hose, my shovel, my car jack, and my ant poison. I'll meet you there, boo. Hey guys, it's your favorite final boy and girl, Alex and Emily, coming at you in a new episode of Gag Me with a Knife, a weekly podcast where we dissect, disembowel, and shred the best and worst slasher movies. This month, we've renamed it the Month of Blood, as our podcast has been highlighting slashers with blood in the title. Today's episode is sadly going to be the last, or maybe not, because we've seen some doozies. We're going to be gagging on 1981's Bloody Birthday today. As always, Emily has
not our last in general, just our last blood.
Yeah, just we're ending the month of blood. So, as always, Emily has the original and priceless VHS copy. So let's put on our birthday party hats and hear what the back of that box says.
Woohoo! Under the spell of a total solar eclipse, 3 women living in the same small town give birth simultaneously. The 3 children are angel-faced, the best of friends and oh so innocent. But these little kids are the most lethal killers ever. Just before a giant party to celebrate their mutual 10th birthdays, a series of gruesome murders begin. Like precision killing machines, the many murderers can't be stopped. Blood and death fuel their existence. Starring Academy Award winner Jose Ferrer and Julie Brown, Bloody Birthday is a gory, terrifying, horrendous display of an evil incarnate that will not die. This one birthday invitation you can't refuse. 1980. What year? I forgot what year it was.
81.
81. Okay. Yeah, you're right. Okay, sorry. So what'd you think?
So, I actually really have always enjoyed this movie. It's not like the best quality movie. It kind of gives, Village or Children of the Damned meets a Lifetime TV slasher vibes, but I think it works. The kids are super horrendous. They're not the best actors. It's kind of comical how they kind of run around and do all these scheming and booby traps and all this just weird stuff. And, the whole movie, it's annoying because you can't wait to see them finally get there. It's like you want to see them, like, I don't know, just get grounded real hard. I don't know. So, the plot itself is ridiculous, hinging upon these 3 kids' birthday with the solar eclipse. It's like, okay, well, what about the other 100 or 1,000 kids in the world born at the exact same time during that eclipse? Where are they? I mean, like, the existence of these 3 assumes there will be more by basic stats, but whatevs. Again, I thought it was fun. I hate that little girl so much. I hate that little boy so much. But anyway,
which little boy? You mean the one that actually talks? Because the other one seems like he's a little slow.
Curtis, not Steven, the one who just randomly disappears throughout the movie.
I wrote that down because I was like, what's wrong with this kid? Because he's always seems to be part of the stuff. They always call him in, but he never. Well, he does talk a little bit, but hardly ever talks. He doesn't really have a personality like the other 2. It's just like he's like the slow one that they're made to be friends with or something. I don't know.
Well, I wouldn't say that Curtis has a personality because, him sitting there doing like some sort of a John Wayne put up your dukes and draw in his gun in the mirror isn't much of a personality.
I kind of loved that. And I thought he had swagger with that gun. But see, at the same time, I have a propensity to like that actor because he's the brother in Just One of the Guys. So I like him. He's in that other movie I like. And that little girl is annoying, but she was, she's also an X-ray. Both of those were an X-ray as well.
Yeah.
AKA Hospital Massacre. AKA.
Steven was probably there just hiding in another room somewhere.
Yeah, probably. And because they came out the same year, so yeah, it's probably there.
Yeah, Elizabeth Hoy, who plays Debbie, and you mentioned she was also an X-ray. Every now and then, when she wears certain little goody two shoes outfits in this movie, and the way her hair is, she gives me it's like Denise Richards meets Jan Brady vibes. I don't know. I couldn't stop.
Yeah, I could see the Jan Brady, or like Jan Brady meets like what's her name? Kim Richards when she was young.
Yeah, definitely. So good.
So, yeah, I don't know. I liked it. Okay. It's not really my kind of movie. I don't really like kid killer movies. They don't ever seem to really hit the mark because it's really hard to find good child actors. especially in a villainous role. I've come to find out, I guess. Except for like the good son, which is awesome.
Yeah, just ask Steven.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, but I enjoy. I've seen it. I've seen it a couple times, and I mean, I like it. I don't like the supernatural aspect of it because I think that's stupid. But
I mean, it's like it made me wonder if the whole movie they're going to turn into damn werewolves. Like, what's the point?
Yeah.
Oh, you know what the point is? We'll get to it. Actually, we'll get to the point. So I guess
will we?
Yeah, well, maybe. So it starts off June 9th, 1970. It's like this ravaging eclipse is going in slow motion.
It feels like a 70s TV movie when TV movies were really big. By the way, I know it came out in the 80s, but it feels like a 70s TV movie.
100%. So after their eclipse, it just flashes forward, but almost a full 10 years later, just a few days before, their 10th birthday, which you mentioned. And then it just basically goes to this couple like making out, and you're like, what's going on? And then and
they're in a graveyard, which I just want to point out, like, I've never understood this whole thing. Even if you're goth, I don't care. Like, what is this thing with people making out in graveyards?
They're not just in a graveyard; they're in a fucking grave.
Yeah.
Like they're like in an open grave because it's like, I was like, why? It's like at one point.
You're right. Because I said I never understood this, and then I wrote, wait, are they in a newly dug area for a grave?
Yeah, it starts off and I'm just like, why are they just sitting in this dirty ass hole? And then I realize they're in a grave because out of nowhere they hear a noise. They kind of stand up and then boom, a shovel just hits dude in the face. And then boom, a rope gets around this girl's throat and hangs her. And then I guess they're just presumably buried alive while they're passed out.
Yeah, they don't ever say.
Yeah, and then it goes. Then then we go into this boy, which we find out, but just for the sake of clarity, he is not one of the three children.
Oh, he's
that
sweet.
Are evil. He gives me vibes of the boy from Poltergeist.
Yeah, kinda. or like the kid from Monster Squad.
100%, yes. He probably watched Monster Squad, and I'll stand him for that. But he's sneaking back in the window while his sister is
after Monster Squad came out after this. But.
Oh yeah. He's sneaking back in the kitchen window, which is the worst window to sneak into, by the way. Over a sink, but whatevs. And I mean, my windows always had cucumbers and tomatoes and all kinds of things in them. He ain't squishing no veggies in that window. I don't know. But his sister is just right beside him, like in the next room, and she's reading like a astrology or something.
Yeah, she's a weirdo.
So you know who her best friend.
She does a whole movie.
You know who? Her best friend in real life would have 100%. Her name is Joyce. Joyce's best friend 100% would have been the girl from Sorority House Massacre who was a dream major.
Or you mean Linda? Or what's her face from Pam from Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
Oh my god! Yeah. Well, and
Pam.
Yeah, I can see all this, and then she also gives me Adrienne. She looks like Adrienne King, sort of, but not.
Yeah,
I mean,
I can see
just
that.
a lot of like confusing things happening at first because I'm not sure who's who and what's what, and like everyone looks like somebody else in famous history. And basically, we just learned his name's Timmy, and he's a good boy, but he was sneaking out while some murder happened. So come to find out the next day, right?
Yep, but yeah, he's a better actor than the other three kids. Also.
Yeah. Oh, and he also gave me Tommy Doyle vibes from Halloween, the first one.
A little bit.
It's just maybe the hair.
Like redheaded. I thought
it's just like the shape of the hair, I guess. I don't know. The haircut, I should say. Speaking of haircuts, it goes to the next day, and I think it shows Joyce.
Oh, I was about to say, did you get a haircut?
No, still not not in 15 months.
Oh my god!
At this point, it's luscious,
you're gonna look like a heavy metal rocker. That's gonna be hilarious. Oh my god! When you do that,
with the knife.
Yeah, can you start wearing like old Iron Maiden shirts and stuff all the time, like with holes in it, and like a denim jacket always with denim pants?
That is not my brand.
I know, but when you grow your hair out, it will be.
Oh god.
Anyway,
all those old school Metallica shirts. And
everything that like Garth would wear, probably from Wayne's World.
But my hair made me think about this. She's walking, and I actually like did this around my house to see if it would work. Joyce is power walking like through the school or something, and her hair, or no, it's a sidewalk because she's meeting Julie Brown, which
Oh,
Julie
and her hair is like bouncing.
It is bouncing like it's on its own separate trampoline.
Julie
Like,
Brown, what?
Julie Brown just shows up. So yeah, that's sorry, she's walking to meet her friend Julie Brown, who ends up she's the older sister of one of the little Satan children. And but Julie Brown, love her.
You mean Beverly? Is that?
That's Beverly. Yeah, she's
she's Debbie's older sister.
Yes. But she's always going to be whoever her character's name is in Earth Girls Are Easy to Me. I don't care what anyone says.
Okay.
Have you never seen that with Jeff Goldblum?
Yeah, we've talked about Jeff Goldblum at length on this show.
Him, but not
I've seen it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
but no, we've not talked about Julie Brown only.
She's also in this really shitty ass movie called Attack of the 5'2" Woman, which is like two stories in one. And one of them is the Tanya Harding, Nancy Kerrigan story, and the other one is Lorena Bobbitt.
My God, I want to see that.
It's the wildest. Like, it's on Prime, I think, to rent. But anyway, so we established, I guess they're friends, and there's two, older siblings kind of hanging out. They all whatever. Then they go into this 4th grade class, I guess, and this cop is like grilling these motherfuckers for murder. I'm like, they're 10, yo.
I mean, well, he was right, but yeah.
Oh, well, true.
Yeah, he shows them a jump rope and like asks if anyone was in the cemetery because I guess a jump rope was used and the handle fell off or something like that.
Yeah, the handle. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Debbie and Curtis. Because it's for some reason Steven's never involved until it's time to do something.
Oh my God!
Because in this scene, Debbie looks at Curtis and they like smirk at each other, but like that's it, and they don't even look at Steven because I guess no one cares.
Nobody cares. He's like the third wheel in this whole thing. Like in a Wild Things situation, he's gonna get killed, betrayed.
Oh yeah, I know.
Totes.
So then they try to ask her teacher if she won't give homework because of their birthday party next week, and she's like, no. Because
Miss Davis is horrendous, and
I have a sad story about her though. But anyway,
well, her character or her actress?
Oh no, just her actress.
Oh well. Her character is super horrendous and strict to the point of like, girl, bye. Like, she's like, the bell rings and she says, the bell does not dismiss you. The bell reminds me that it's time for me to dismiss you. I'm like, no, you don't have power. Let them leave. Let them go. Anyway.
So then they leave and we have the first scene of them looking through the peephole at Beverly.
Yeah, the Porky scene.
Yeah. So they watch her while she changes clothes. And that, I get real confused about because later on they're looking through a peephole with the bow and arrow, but it doesn't seem to be at Beverly's at their house. It seems to be at Debbie's house, or not Debbie. It seems to be at Joyce and Timmy's house later, like at the end of the movie. And I was like, why do they both have the same closet? But anyway, whatever.
But it was funny. Debbie was charging those two boys 25 cents to see Julie Brown, her older sister, undress, and then 10 cents for additional time. And it made me think back when I think it was 6th grade. I used to print out nude pictures, mostly of like Pam Anderson and Jeannie McCarthy, Carmen Electra, Yasmin Bleeth, just some stuff like that. And I would charge people for them, and I would charge more for the color photos than I did the black and white photos.
Oh my God!
I had like a laser printer and all these things, and I was just printing off tons and tons of these nudie pictures. And then our science teacher caught me passing around my portfolio of products.
Which one?
Miss Hensley. But you know how smart I was? I had naked girls taped to the front of the binder. Like, obviously what's inside of it's going to be more naked girls. It was
what did she do?
I mean, I actually didn't get in any sort of administrative trouble. Like, she just basically told me not to do it again. And I was scared. I didn't bring it back to class. And I think that ended my porn smuggling days. Well, for pictures anyway.
Okay. So after this scene, we get what is like probably the most like horrifying death, I guess, just because of who it is.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's like 20 minutes into this movie.
Yeah, so Debbie puts a skateboard on the stairs because she's trying to. You assume she's trying to hurt somebody. Well, her dad comes out and he misses. He like avoids the skateboard, but then he gets down the stairs outside, and he notices that her jump rope is missing a handle.
Yeah, yeah.
And then he's distracted, and Steven beats the sheriff from behind with his wooden baseball bat, and Debbie watches. Like, doesn't give a shit.
No shit's given. Like, and
there's Steven doing something.
Yeah, because the first two deaths of what is it, Duke and Annie are their names, and you don't see anything, and it's also just like, you expect someone to die in the opening scene. You do not expect the little girl to kill her dad, who is the sheriff, within like 20 minutes of the movie. Like, that was pretty aggressive, and I really enjoyed it. But then I guess that later that day they run off, and then they have the most serious game of hide and seek I've ever seen in my life.
Well, like, they arrange the sheriff's body on the stairs, so
oh yeah.
So it looks like it was an accident.
Yeah, I've fallen down plenty of stairs in my life, and it doesn't look like I got beat by a wooden bat on the whole body.
Nope. Okay, so then they're playing hide and seek, which is insane.
Like the most serious game, he's like pulling out this fake gun. It's Curtis is pulling out this fake gun, and then
obviously it's Curtis. He's got swagger with that gun.
He does, and he tricks. He hides in this metal refrigerator, and tricks and makes it to where Timmy's going there with him. But then he gets out while Timmy's getting in. Like this is a two-door thing. Like it's not like it's some episode of Looney Tunes. I don't know how he didn't like see him getting out while he was getting in. Anyway, they lock him in this metal refrigerator, seemingly to let him heat and die in this damn refrigerator in a junkyard. But he does escape. But that was pretty. Like I was like, this is gonna be brutal.
Yeah. That they really don't give a fuck. So, but Timmy does escape, and he goes homeward, and he tells his sister about what happened, but she doesn't believe him. Right. Because earlier he had lied about something. Then I guess he told her about the peephole right after that.
Yeah, he did. I think he was trying to get on her good graces, and like, no, I'm not lying about this. Here's
and then we see Debbie paste the picture of Miss Davis in her scrapbook, meaning she's going to be the next to die.
Oh my God! They like Debbie over here. First of all, the treehouse sucks. There's no privacy. Like it's just this platform.
It's just like the platform.
And so there's no privacy.
What did they call it in Mean Girls?
The burn book.
The burn book. Her burn book sucks. I mean, she could have colored it a little bit.
She could have used glitter glue. She could have used some scented markers. She could have done something. No, she just pasted this nasty.
She could have used one crayon. I don't care.
This black and white photo on a brown piece of paper. Her burn book needs to be burned.
Yep.
And her with it. Okay.
Yep.
So then it flashes, and Mrs. Davis is like washing something in a sink somewhere. I guess a school. I guess there's a craft sink or something. And Curtis walks in and pulls a gun out. She's like, "That's a replica," and he's like, unbeknownst to her, that they had just switched it out with Debbie's dad's gun. So now they have a real gun. And he puts a jacket over it, like that's really going to muffle the sound. I still heard it. What about you? Anyway, yep. shoots her dead. So boom, someone else is dead. Just really quickly.
Yeah, and I will go ahead and tell you what I know about her.
And they stuff her in a closet. What about her? What's her story?
She was like famous for being in The Day After, Broke Down Palace, and I think she might have been in a soap opera. But anyway, when she died, they sued, like, I guess where she was living for neglect, because she had like bruises all over and was malnourished and stuff, and she had already tried to sue them before, like when she was still alive, but because of elder abuse. But
I like how you had to say when she was still alive that she tried to sue them.
Well, they sued him afterwards. Too,
so. Oh.
Like they sued him like her family, I guess, sued after she died. I was like, yeah. It's really sad.
And they don't know what really happened.
Well, she had said that they weren't feeding her, that they were beating her and stuff.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Elder abuse scares me, so.
Yeah, that's pretty terrifying. That's like that. There's a whole movie that called it has the girl from Gone Girl. I forget her name, but it's called I Care a Lot. And basically, it's like they run this con of of getting all these elderly people and pretending like that they're the state and like taking over all their assets and all their everything and power of attorneys and everything. And she just destroys their life. It's like a thriller. It's pretty intense. But from the elder abuse standpoint of this probably happens with all this fraud. This is a real thing, right? Maybe not to that extent in the movie, but it's pretty scary.
Yeah. Wait, hold on. Yeah, I've also seen a lot of Law and Orders about it. So.
Oh yeah. Ugh.
Anyway, back to the movie.
So then I guess like after all this is going on, right after Curtis kills Mrs. Davis, I guess the kids kind of think that maybe Joyce, which is Timmy's sister, is like starting to catch on to them or something, and like, well, she got to go. So they like leave this little note that looks like the worst handwriting I've ever seen. I guess I get it. They're 10. Well, they're 9. But I'm like, anyway, they're like, hey, come to the junkyard or something. And so she goes to the junkyard, and then when she's there, she turns around and there's like a ghost. Well, it's, a ghost sheet costume driving a damn Cadillac trying to drive her over through this whole junkyard, and she's running all over the place.
Yeah. Yeah.
It kind of reminded me of one of the Nightmare on Elm Streets, like maybe 4, because I think Kincaid dies in 4 in a junkyard finally. At the very beginning, he's like, Kristen! And screams.
Yeah, Kincaid does, yeah.
So it gave me some of those, but except it's Freddy doing it, not some 9-year-old in a ghost sheet looking like he's trying to audition for Beetlejuice.
Facts.
And it's a boring sheet too. They couldn't even get one with flowers on it or patterns. It's just
sorry, it was the mom.
Sheet.
Sorry, it was the mom that died of elderly abuse. Sorry.
Oh.
Mrs. Brody.
Mrs. Brody. Gotcha.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry. Back to
the scheduled program, folks. And then I guess just because they had to up body count, I don't even know. They just flashes to this new other couple having sex in a van the next night. Like, do we even know who they are?
I don't think so.
Like, it's just to up this body count. And I'm like, how come every time a couple's having sex in a van, the girl always hears a noise, but the guy never does?
Because guys are dumb.
So he opens the door, gets shot in the face. Then the girl gets shot in the face. And I'm like, there's a lot of shooting to be a slasher so far in this, but
yeah, I don't know if I would really. It is kind of a slasher, but
yeah, I mean,
it kind of moves away from.
I mean, the next scene, it flashes forward to Curtis over here, deep throating and sucking birthday cake icing off a butcher's knife.
Oh my God. Okay, this scene. Okay. Okay, so he makes Joyce think that he's poisoned the cake because he's like putting more icing on it, and he has like ant poison or something like that in his other hand. Mm-hmm. So she's like, and she runs out and she's like, don't eat it, it's got poison, blah blah blah. And then as soon as she says that, this one random kid, don't know who he is, he doubles over like he's been poisoned.
I know, yeah.
But then we find out that he didn't actually poison it. He was doing it to make Joyce, seem incredible.
Right.
But like, I was like, dude, are you that like?
He's probably just mad. Maybe his birthday is like 3 days later, and he's not invited to this party, this solar eclipse anonymous.
I was just saying, like, are you that like predisposed to just act on like. If someone said poison, so you must be poisoned. I mean, like,
yes. When he doubles over, I forgot that Curtis was actually punking her the whole time just to discredit her for future reference and make her seem like she's not making any kind of any sense. And I was like, whoa, I forgot that this poison. I was ready for everyone just to fall over and like I don't know, like a Game of Thrones episode. Everyone just gets poisoned and collapses. But then nope, just tricks.
Oh, also right before that, we have a scene with Joyce and Timmy where she's she's trying to figure out she's looking at the horoscopes of those three kids, and she said there's something missing because the moon or the sun or the moon, whatever, was blocking like Saturn.
Jupiter or Saturn, yeah.
I think it's Saturn. And so that means there's something missing from their emotions because that's like the emotional planet or something like that. So I guess that, is important later, but.
Well, I mean, it's important to me. It's why I have a dream catcher now.
Did you buy a dream catcher after you watched this?
No, I am a dream. I am a dream. I sleep in dream catcher. I sleep in dream catcher pajamas though. But
what?
But my whole question,
are you being serious though? Are you serious?
I want you.
Do they have feet in them?
Oh, I like little feeties. No, but they do have a little head with a little horn on the end of it. But I'm sorry if my husband died, and then like 3 days later, I'm still having a birthday party for a 10-year-old. Just lock me up.
Yeah, me too. Same.
Like her husband.
Well, apparently she did get locked up and died of elderly abuse. So.
I hate you. That's not.
Like
anyway.
This is not she was in a movie, dude. But they were locking her up.
Timmy's sister, though, is literally about to beat the shit out of this little boy, and it really pissed me off. He's like, "It's not poison," because he then runs his finger all over this cake and starts sucking his finger. And I'm like, first of all, that ain't cute. You're a little troll. And third of all, I really want her to slap you in the face. Like,
only two things, but.
Huh?
You said first of all, then you said third of all.
No, I said it ain't cute, and you look like a troll. That's two things.
Oh, okay, you're right. Never mind.
I was like, wait, that's something I would do. I'd probably like, first of all, and B.
No, I do that all the time. A, 2, 3, 7, D. That's not what I would do. I mean, I'm not that.
No, that's how I took tests. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I would just pick when they were there. It wasn't a number. I would just like pretend they were.
Oh God.
Okay.
So
anyway.
Now we flash forward, and I don't know.
Okay. Like after that, Beverly finds Debbie's scrapbook.
Yep.
And then she shows it to her mom. And then Debbie lies and says that it's Curtis's, which would make sense. So the mom is like, you can't ever hang out with him again. And she tells Beverly to burn the book. And then that night, Debbie calls Curtis and Steven to her house, and then they kill Beverly with a bow and arrow, which is a cool
Curtis and Steven aren't even there yet, though. They get pissed at her for doing it without him.
Oh yeah, they get pissed at her for doing it without him. But it's a cool shot.
Except for the fact that she can't even put this little bow or this arrow on the bow, and I don't know. It's just.
Well, I thought she was just trying to make it make sure she killed her.
Her dexterity.
So she got her to come up.
Her dexterity factor and all of this with it. I mean, she's over here, Robin Hood with the bow and arrow later on through this tiny little hole, shooting arrows through it. Like, girl, this is not booby traps of Indiana Jones. But how are you doing this? Yep. But she does kind of get her Beverly to come look at the peephole. First of all, though, that hole is bigger than I'm saying. It's probably it's bigger than, it's like the size of a lemon. It's huge. Yeah. And this closet door has no door. This closet has no door. First of all, weird. And you would totally see this giant hole in a purple plastered closet. In the reflection of a mirror. Like there's no way that she would have never just not seen a hole in her closet. You know?
No, she wouldn't.
God. And anyway, but she comes and peeks into this hole because, but she has been told, I think Joyce did tell her, hey, your sister is doing this, charging her friends to see you undress. So she knows it's there. But then I guess Julie Brown didn't know about glory holes and the dangers that befall them. You don't stick your eye in front of a hole ever. So boom.
No. And then then Curtis and Steven get there, and they are kind of like pissed at her for doing it without them, but they help her move the body. And then her mom gets home, or her mom wakes up, I guess, and she sees her cleaning up the blood, and she says it's nail polish. Then the next scene is Beverly's funeral. So I'm like, well, how did she get found?
Oh yeah, because I don't know where they drug her to. You're right.
Yeah,
They drug her
no
like
one.
outside or something. But
Yeah, they
like,
drag her away, but somehow someone had to have found, like, that was a big problem for me, honestly, because I was like, that I can get past a lot of stuff, but like that doesn't make any sense at all. Like, if they hid her, who found her? Why? Like, where was she? And why wasn't anyone like, oh, questioning these kids at this point? Because it had to have been soon after. I don't know, whatever. It doesn't matter, I guess, because her mom checks into a hospital right after the funeral.
right after it, and I'm like, same girl, I'll be going too. But we sort of got a little emotion with Debbie because it right when the funeral starts, it pans in on her and the mom crying, and you're like, Debbie, you little
Fake.
like she the worst. Like, I hate her. I just hate her. And so basically, then after that, it's just we're close to the end of the movie here, and it's this convoluted scheme now where the Debbie is like, "Hey, my mom's going to a therapy or something tonight. Can you and Timmy come babysit?" It's no, wait, whoa. We're not even to that yet. Sorry. There's one thing that happens that makes that whole thing go awash. Some other kid like runs up on those three, and they start strangling him with a garden hose.
Yeah.
Like, who the hell is this kid?
Who knows?
Anyway, they start strangling with the garden hose, which is attached
Probably
to
the
like
same kid that has a hurt stomach.
Oh, it might be. He deserved that for that then. Trying to, so Joyce is outside, and the hose that they're strangling this kid with is attached to a sprinkler that keeps kind of like dragging across the lawn. She catches them, and then of course Debbie plays innocent again. She's like, "Quit hurting them, guys! You're really gonna hurt him. Don't do that." And then it's like, "You little brats!" And she's onto them. She gets it. Like, she knows what's going on. She's like, "I'm gonna tell the sheriff or something." And then Curtis goes, "You do that, and my grandfather will sue you for," like, I don't know. He didn't say defamation of character. He says something.
It's like
assaulting a minor. That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Assaulting a minor, and then they all run off. Well, then, like, literally, like 5 minutes later, it shows Joyce in the garage, like, sharpening a pair of scissors or something. I don't know what she's doing. But then Debbie walks in. She's like, "Hey, so my mom's gonna be like in therapy tonight. Can you and Timmy babysit me at 7?" She's like, "Sure." I'm like, "Wait, what? What? You just like saw her and two other kids choking this bitch with a garden hose, and you're like, I'm gonna come on."
They chased you in the friggin' junkyard.
Oh my god! Well, she thought that was Casper. She didn't know.
Oh, Yeah, that's usually what I think.
But between all of this, the only important thing I kind of clued into, which I never really understood until later, because I even took a note and I went back and changed my note, and I was like, what the hell is this gigantic fuse box that they're playing with all the time? It's like this security system.
Oh, yeah, I didn't know what that was either.
It's like you open it up and it's the most Mission Impossible looking wires and bolts and data boards I've ever seen in my life for the 80s. And then it's got a key switch like a friggin' construction garbage.
It looks like something, if you actually needed to use it, you wouldn't be able to.
Right, and they can't. And they got bulletproof glass windows. And what is this? A smart house? I mean, what is this?
I guess it's because it was the sheriff's house.
I still don't know any sheriff that has.
Oh wait, no, they're at.
No, they're at the sheriff's. They're because they're babysitting Debbie.
Okay.
Yeah, but still.
That's why they're in that closet. I got really confused. Okay.
Oh yeah, they're in that. Yeah, so she's babysitting them, and or her. It's just the most wildest thing, but then chaos ensues, and turns out that was like a security box, and I'm just like, but these kids know how to hook all these clips and wires to it and override it, and I'm just like, this is obscene.
Yeah, and then when Joyce is like during the chase, like one of the chase scenes, she grabs a trophy, which I realize a lot of people do that in movies, and I don't understand why people grab trophies to hurt people. Because as far as I've ever had, and listen, when I was in gymnastics, I got a lot of trophies, but they're all plastic.
I mean, I have some really heavy ones.
Well, then I guess
like the actual person or like award, the gold part usually isn't like that heavy, but the base of it, sometimes they are. Yeah, like,
I could see that.
They're not marble, but they're like, they could be rock or something heavy sometimes. Now, usually it's like just crappy plastic for sure, but maybe in the 80s, Maybe before they gave one to everybody who participated, they made them better.
Yeah, that's true.
But no, she does then throw a fucking lamp at her face, and I love seeing that lamp hit Debbie, and she goes flying into the wall. And while she's doing that, in the kitchen, Steven and Curtis,
they try to shoot her.
They're like loading up this gun. And how many bullets does this gun have, Rambo? They are shooting this pistol through the walls, through the doors, high and low. Meanwhile, she's over here trying to shoot more bows and arrows through that hole in the closet. And this gun is just going off. And I'm like, doesn't the pistol have like 5 or 6 like bullets?
Yeah.
They're shooting like millions, and
yeah, but he ends up running out, and so they lock Steven in the trunk, and
that was my favorite part of the whole movie is when she picks up this fish bowl, and they finally open the door, and he walks in with like a knife or something, and she just like smashes this fish bowl on his face, and he looks so. He is like the audacity of this bitch. He is so offended by her, and then he just gets shoved in a trunk. Shoved in a trunk. He's like, "Let me out!" Like he is so offended by her audacity. It's like the Lion, the Witch, the Wardrobe, and the audacity of this bitch. Anyway, I loved it.
Yeah, and then they subdued Curtis because he runs out of bullets.
Yeah, and they hog tie him, which is amazing.
And then Debbie escapes while Timmy runs to a neighbor's house to call the police.
Yes.
So Debbie escapes and she goes home and she lies to her mom.
Debbie was already home. She escaped her own home and she saw her mom in the on the street in the car.
Yeah. That's what I meant.
Yeah. And
she says that Curtis and Steven have done bad things and. Because she assumes, like, I guess.
Yeah, she says, Joyce is going to tell you all that. Joyce is going to tell you something, but it's all Steven and Curtis. She's going to lie to you and tell you I did it too.
Yeah.
And the mom doesn't say a damn word. She just looks at her and makes a 3-point turn and drives off. Like, what?
And then all of a sudden, their police are arresting Curtis and Steven.
Which. Yay, but it was a little bit disappointing. Like, it was a little bit of a letdown. Like, just to see them being thrown in the back of a car the next day, like, boo-hoo. And then
after they've killed all these people, yeah.
And then Curtis smiles at somebody, like, smirks at them.
It's Joyce, I think.
And I'm just like, that's it. And they're going to get no trouble. They're going to get no punishment. They're 9. I mean, I get it, but... And
then our next scene is... Debbie and and her mom, and they have moved somewhere else, and she has assumed a new identity, which her mom quizzes her on.
Beth.
Beth, and so her mom knows she's done it. You can tell, and she just let her escape.
Yeah, it shows Beth playing with a car jack, and then as she's like, "I'm Beth, mommy, yes, blah blah blah," and they're gonna get this new life, whatever. And then it pans around the corner, and Beth had killed some trucker under his semi truck, and I'm just like. I need justice. I have never been so mad at a movie ending. Like, I need justice for that bitch.
Yep. That's the end of the movie.
I hate her. I hate her so much. Like, she needs a timeout. She needs spanking. She needs her burn book taken away from her. She needs some punishment.
She's a little brat at the very least.
She needs to lick soap.
Yes. Okay, so
what fun facts do we have? Anything?
Not a lot, but Lori Lethin, who played, I think Joyce. Yeah,
Joyce. She
did it. She did all of her own stunts.
What stunts?
I guess when she's running away from in the junkyard. I don't know.
When she's knocking cake out of people's hand, that was really her.
Yeah, it was really her. Apparently. A lot of people thought that this was filmed earlier, like in the 70s, and at least 5 years later. But it has been determined that it was, in fact, filmed in 1980. So if anyone thinks it was filmed in the 70s, it wasn't.
Yeah. That's funny because you even said it kind of looked like it was a 70s film because it does. Give off and it's interesting.
And apparently it was a lighthearted shoot. Like they were actually all friends and had like a good time in between takes. So that's always good to know. I guess. Whatever. There's a thing that says Julie Brown was topless in this movie. Well, no shit. A lot of fun fact. Like that's just a fact.
And we have to keep in mind too, for other people too, for randomness, like I've talked about Julie Brown being in this other two movies. People might also get this confused with Downtown Julie Brown. It ain't her either. It's a different person. So anyway, for people that are into like the 90s music scene, it's not Downtown Julie Brown. Anyway, sorry.
Okay, so according to the director, Ed Hunt, the murder sequences were originally shot to be more graphic, but the stronger footage was edited out of the final cut.
Why do they always? Yes, yeah, I
because it's kids. It would, I guess, because it's probably mostly because it's kids. I mean, and the kids weren't allowed to work past a certain time in the evening, which was an issue a lot of times. So they had to be like pulled in the middle of shooting, like of certain scenes, because they couldn't shoot past a certain time. So that was really bad for production, I suppose.
Yeah, there's only a couple scenes at nighttime, and maybe that's why the few scenes we've seen at night, we don't really see them much at night. Like, yeah, that's interesting. Okay.
Oh, okay. And Stephen carries a Close Encounters of the Third Kind lunchbox during school scenes.
Fun fact.
Yeah. And then the sequel, there was supposed to be a sequel where Debbie and her mother, like, it was like focusing on them being on the run, but it never happened, which I think that'd be a cool idea.
I think it'd be kind of cool to do one now.
Except for she died of elderly abuse.
No, with Debbie, and she could have her own children and her own like loveless marriage, since the moon and the sun and Saturn blocks emotions. I don't know. Maybe she gives birth to an actual werewolf. Who knows? Yeah. But that would be fun. I think a sequel could be fun, especially with given this day and age. I mean, there hasn't really been a lot of evil kid stuff in a while, and no. Then again, I'm not a big fan of evil kid movies, so. But because they were like the 70s and 80s, they were kind of like there hasn't really been any. Well, I remember like when I liked Children of the Corn when I was younger, but like now when I watch it, I'm like, oh, when is this going to be over? Oh, I love that franchise. I think it's so hilarious. I like later movies of the franchise because they're silly, but. Yeah, they are. So yeah, so I guess Oh, what are you gonna rate it? I'm gonna probably rate this. I think it's a solid 3. I mean, it's not. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 2.75. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's strong enough to get a 3 in my opinion, but yeah, I think it's and I would recommend it for at least once. Yeah, I mean, I would say I don't think it's super rewatchable, but. Yeah, I mean, I would say of all the movies that we did for the month of Blood, this is probably the one that has held up. Oh, I don't think so. I think Blood Rage probably held up the best. But of all the ones we've known, nobody that I know has seen any of the other ones except Bloody Birthday, and I think it's a lot of people have seen Blood Rage. A lot have, but nobody I've asked in real life, like nobody that I've asked has seen it before. Like if you're in a horror movies, you've seen it, sure, but everybody's heard of Bloody Birthday basically, but no one had heard of Blood Rage. I like Blood Rage a lot more, but I think Bloody Birthday was way more famous. Yeah. Because I never heard of Blood Rage. I never heard of Blood Rage until we did it. Yeah, well, I knew about it, but only a couple months ago. Like it wasn't live. It was like during the pandemic. Maybe like a year ago. But yeah. I mean, it's been recent that I heard of it. So it was still good. And I just watched a movie with that mom. Oh, the one from Mary Hartman. Yeah, she was just in another movie that I just watched the other day, and I was like, "Oh my God, it's her." She looks nothing like that anymore, or in that movie. I'm checking my logs. It was on Saturday, and it was. Oh, I think she was in The Opposite of Sex. Which is funny when I laugh so hard when you ask me. Well, and then you told me, and I was like, "Oh, I thought that's how you were describing the movie, or like describing what you were doing." What are you doing? I'm doing The Opposite of Sex. I was like, "Okay, what's that?" Oh no, she wasn't in The Opposite of Sex. Sorry, she was in Frankenhooker. Oh yeah, okay. She was his mother, the main boy's mother in Frankenhooker. That's right. Sorry, that's it. And then I recently watched Vamp.
That has nothing to do with anything.
Yeah,
but I don't like vampire movies. But I did enjoy this. I like Lost Boys and Near Dark, but
yeah. Well, Near Dark's basically impossible to get a hold of now. And then
is it?
It's out of print, I think.
I have it on. I have it on VHS, but
yeah, I thought it was out of print, but and it's not streaming. I don't think anywhere either. But yeah, Vamp is basically what's it called? From Dusk Till Dawn. Before From Dusk Till Dawn happened.
Yep.
It's pretty cool.
I like it because it's got that guy from Nightmare on Elm Street 2, and it's got Long Duck Dong from 16 Candles, and then Grace Jones.
Grace Jones, long live.
That strip dance she does is just.
Yeah, she's something else. She's another level.
So cool. It's so cool. It's like it's art. It really is. The way she's like painted up and stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, but
so I guess I don't have anything else to say about this one other than
goodbye Blood Month.
Goodbye Month of Blood. Stay gagged on all of the blood.
Stay gagged on blood. Stay gagged on for this movie. Stay gagged on arrows, skateboards, guns. What else?
Stay gagged on alarm systems that look like fuse boxes out of Mission Impossible.
Stay gagged on the worst burn book of all time.
Stay gagged on that. God, literally. And I mean, I don't know. Stay gagged on. I'm pretty sure Julie Brown has a giant poster of her dad on the wall. When you go back and watch it, there's a poster of some sheriff on the wall, and that's where it's her dad. So stay gagged on having a poster of your dad on the wall.
Oh my God, ew!
I think I might have made that up. I made that up.
I don't know. I had a picture, a really bad picture of my dad, on the wall one time. Because it was really bad, one of his like school pictures as a teacher, and he looked so dumb. So I like tacked it up on my wall, like not in my room or anything, just in the living room.
Oh my God.
Anyway.
Stay gagged on solar eclipses.
Oh yeah.
Sure. Stay gagged on getting it on in a freshly dug grave.
Yeah.
And I guess stay gagged on following us on all social media and YouTube.
Yes, like us, love us, or don't like us, and you can just let us know.